All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling one of the wildest, most explosive trends out there, the mashup of artificial intelligence and crypto. It's this space that's just bursting with promises of a decentralized future. But you gotta ask, is it the real deal, or is it all just a really, really well-packaged illusion? So let's try and cut through the noise and figure it out.
Okay, let's just start with the number that's got everybody talking. 257%. That's how much the entire AI token sector jumped in just the first few months of 2024. According to Crypto.com, that made it the single best performing crypto category of the year. I mean, when you see a number like that, you know something is going on.
And this quote just nails the feeling, right? Buying into AI crypto can feel like you're grabbing a one-way ticket straight to the future. But that leads to the big question, the one we have to ask. Is this train actually heading to the decentralized utopia we're all hoping for, or is it going somewhere else entirely? And that really gets us to the first part of this whole story, which you can only call the AI crypto gold rush. Because make no mistake, when you look at the market data, when you see where the big money's flowing, it points to a full-blown frenzy.
You know, this hype isn't just about prices going parabolic. Sure, it was the top-performing sector, but you have to look deeper. When a giant like Grayscale, a name that's basically synonymous with institutional crypto, launches a dedicated fund just for decentralized AI, well, that's Wall Street saying, okay, we're paying attention. And maybe the most telling sign, the builders are here. The number of AI-related projects on GitHub literally tripled in just 3 years. That shows you it's not just speculation, people are actually building stuff.
And, every gold rush has its heroes, right? The pioneers, the trailblazers, who are leading the charge. So let's take a look at the key projects that have really become the face of this whole movement.
And the ambitions here are just massive. I mean, you've got Bittensor, which has this vision of creating a decentralized digital beehive mind, like a shared global intelligence. Then you've got Fetch.ai, which wants to build an entire economy run by machines, using these autonomous economic agents. And then, kind of behind the scenes, you have the projects that are like the arms dealers of this revolution, RNDR and Akash. They're supplying the absolute most critical resource needed for AI, computing power, but decentralized and often way cheaper than the big guys like Amazon or Google.
But just as the hype is hitting its peak, you've got the academic world stepping in to splash a little cold water on the whole party. And it forces us to ask a really tough question. Are these huge promises of decentralization really what they seem to be? Do they actually hold up when you poke at them?
A research paper from the Academic Server Archive just puts the whole challenge right there in the title. It's not some small critique. It's a fundamental, soul-searching question aimed right at the heart of the entire AI crypto space. The illusion of decentralized AI? That's a bold claim.
So the paper really breaks it down into 3 core problems. First, is the AI part actually happening on the blockchain? Turns out, in most projects, all the heavy lifting, the actual AI processing, it's happening off-chain. The blockchain is pretty much just being used as a ledger to track payments. Second, decentralization isn't free. In fact, it's often slow and expensive, which can make it a much worse solution than just using a good old-fashioned centralized server. And finally, and this is a big one, are you buying the technology or are you just buying the story? For a lot of these tokens, the price seems to be driven almost entirely by the AI narrative, not by any real, proven use case.
And as if all those technical challenges weren't enough, there's this whole other minefield to navigate. You've got massive regulatory question marks. Nobody's really sure how these tokens fit into existing laws. And then there are these huge ethical and practical problems baked right into the tech. Like how you follow data privacy laws like GDPR when you're using a blockchain that's designed to be permanent and unchangeable. Or who do you blame when a decentralized AI makes a bad decision? These aren't small details. They're huge, fundamental questions that nobody has good answers for yet.
So, okay, how on earth are we supposed to make sense of all this? How do you tell what's real and what's just noise? Well, I think there's a simple but really powerful way to think about it. Let's call it the plumbers versus the makeup artists.
And here's the one simple test you can apply. Ask yourself, is this project solving a problem that only exists because of centralization, or is it just taking a regular solution, slapping an AI label on it, and wrapping it in a token to look cool and raise money?
So here's how it breaks down. The plumbers. They're the ones doing the essential, maybe not so glamorous work.
They're tackling genuine problems, like the stranglehold Amazon and Google have on cloud computing, or the huge question of who actually owns our data. For these guys, the blockchain is absolutely necessary. Their whole idea falls apart without it. Then you have the makeup artists. They look amazing, they sound revolutionary, they use all the right buzzwords. But if you really dig in, their core business would probably work just fine, maybe even better, without a token or a blockchain at all.
And to make this crystal clear, think about projects like Akash and Render. They are classic plumbers. They are building a decentralized competitor to Amazon Web Services. That is a real, tangible piece of infrastructure the world could use. Same with Ocean Protocol, which is trying to solve the messy problem of data ownership. These projects are laying the actual pipes that any future version of decentralized AI is going to need to survive.
So, after all that, where does it leave us? Well, to really understand what's going on, it's time to stop looking at the crazy price charts and start focusing on something much more basic: utility.
So I want you to try something. For just a second, forget the 100x gains. Forget all the Twitter hype. Forget the complicated charts. Let's just boil this whole thing down to its absolute essence.
The next time you come across a hot new AI crypto project, just ask yourself two very simple questions. Number one, if blockchain technology didn't exist, would this problem still need solving? And number two, if you took away the AI buzzword, would this solution still make any sense? The answers to those two questions, they'll tell you way more about a project's real long-term value than any price chart ever could. Thanks for joining us for this Explain.